Hello everyone, I am Tacit, and today I'm going to be going over the Gems of War batting above average event in which the Werebat is added to the game. This of course is also the beginning of Season 5 or Campaign 5 of Gems of War. With it we end up getting a new Lyncothropy gem effect, which are gems on the board that when taken will end up applying a random Lyncothropy to a random enemy, which is a 15% chance after the first turn to change the inflicted enemy into a beast. We also ended up getting, of course, the new reroll method for tasks, which technically came in the last week of the previous campaign, though most people already had all the tasks done by then, so we'll really be able to utilize it this time around to be able to basically repick any tasks that we don't want. And they end up changing up the rewards a little bit as well for the extended pass, and we're going to be having those power gems basically every new season now, and they'll bring them in to randomly occur as well through various events. So it's not just going to be on troops, they'll also have events. We'll end up having those gem effects. But anyways, let's get over to all of the things that we got going on this week. So let's start off with the Werebat. It's of course the new epic that we have this week for Glory. I end up getting quite a bit of the arcane, so if you want to stock up on them, they're only 200 each, the cheapest they're ever going to be, so good time to get a bunch of them if you need them. As far as the troop itself, pretty average. However, the most noteworthy thing is there is of course a new achievement that was added in the most recent patch that ended up whenever you take, I think, 100 Lycanthropy gems, you end up getting an achievement for taking 100 Lycanthropy gems, and you can end up doing this pretty easily off of this Lycanthropy effect. We'll be showing a team for it. Farmed it in like less than 10 minutes. It was pretty quick. It's a 50% chance to convert a random purple gem into a Lyncothropy gem at the start of every single turn, which is basically the main way that you'll be Lyncothroping in the current state of the game until we get more methods to do so. It steals a bunch of life, which means it does get to accumulate that life from an enemy, and then inflicts them with death mark on a random enemy for each Lyncothropy gem on the board, which does mean if you have a bunch of Lyncothropy gem on the board, it will be able to get a 4 times death mark off, meaning you'll have both the random Lyncothropy effects for the enemy as well as a death mark. And supposedly they have fixed the glitch. I personally have not seen the crash yet, but there was some kind of glitch before where death mark and Lyncothropy triggering at the same time would crash the game. I personally have not seen that glitch yet, but who knows, hopefully they fixed it. Supposedly they have, let's hope they have, because now it's going to be happening a lot, at least if you're using Werebat anyways. Overall, it's okay. 4 times death mark obviously isn't too bad. Normally you're going to be using Deathbringer if you want to do something like that, especially given how inconsistent the Lyncothropy effect is. It's probably not worth using, especially since the enemy can do it too, and if the enemy gets it on you, that's kind of bad. So it's easier just having a Deathbringer and end up going down that route if you truly want to go Death Mark spam the enemy team. We also got 10% to all beasts and 10% to all monsters. You can also get 40 souls this week for using the Werebat. However, unless you're just messing with the Werebat, I wouldn't go out of your way to try doing this, just because using normal soul farming teams will farm way more souls. But if you happen to be messing around with the troop, at least you'll get some free souls while doing so. As far as the event key drop table, we do have a Golvania drop table, and there are a few drops that are worth considering. As far as the Golvania drop table, every single thing you see here, except for the... Actually, never mind. You don't have a faction yet, do you? You're one of the few that don't. So actually, every single thing you see here is available. So the main ones that are noteworthy are actually all right next to each other: the Ghost Queen, the Grey King, and the Umber Wolf. The Ghost Queen, 50% mana start to all undeads. Not too many things that this is useful for. However, one of the main things that this is useful for is the Grey King. The Grey King is one of the best true damage troops in the entire game. Gets to destroy a bunch of gems from the board. Has a bit of board control in that regard. Gets to do damage to everything of that color. And also ends up basically having the effect of the Silent One in the sense that it gets to silence almost the entire enemy team while also doing a mana drain on them and freezing them. Overall, really devastating troop. Ends up gaining a little bit of extra stats as well to all undeads, and one of those of course is magic, which ends up increasing its damage over time, which is pretty nice. It's also one of only a few mythics in the entire game where having more than one copy, particularly 2, is pretty useful, because you can do Ghost Queen into double Grey King, which ends up working out to be a pretty good combo, and then just end up utilizing it with one other troop, and overall pretty solid. And other than that, we have Umber Wolf. Umber Wolf is used entirely for its Perpetual Purple Storm. Very rarely is this still useful in the current state of the game. However, there are instances where Perpetual Storm is useful. It is also the lowest rarity thing in the entire game that has a Perpetual Storm. Everything else that has it is either a Mythic or a Hero class. This is the only one that is specifically a Legendary troop that has it. So a little bit of a lower rarity one as far as being able to get it. So those are the main 3 things that you would hunt for if you were to do event keys. Overall, I'd probably say worth skipping unless you're really looking for one of these 3 options, as pretty much everything else not really that worth it from this kingdom, unless you're just looking to upgrade Golvania a little bit closer to higher stars. Anyways, as far as the World Lore event, of course, we got those back. We had our 1 week off because of the Tower of Doom, but they are indeed back with their very annoying scoring system, as per usual. So the main thing you need to worry about as far as the scoring system this time about is Werebat is the second highest. Even though it's the epic, it is the second highest. The absolute highest, and basically from there is just rarity order. So that's basically all you have to remember is Werebat is the second highest, with the only one being higher being the Mythic Room of Draculus, and then from there it's rarity order. So basically it's Draculus is the highest, Werebat is the second, and then there's simply rarity from there. It's Crimson Bats as the next one, then the Seguina, and then the Vogeli. So just remember that Draculus is the highest and marked as the Mythic Room. Werebat is the one that you have to specifically remember because it's a weird one because it's, for whatever reason, the second highest. And then it goes Crimson Bat, Seguina, and then the Vargri. Vargri? Why are there such weird words? But that's basically the main thing you need to remember is that the Werebat is worth the second highest. And from there, it's just rarity. Anyways, other than that, we do have magic bonus this week, so pretty easy. You can just run a bunch of strong AoEs, and that's really all you have to do. Whatever your strongest AoE options are. Actually, this is a cheaper team, but you can just use a bunch of Queen Titanias, Dustbringer, pretty much anything, as long as it's purple and mystic. So pretty straightforward overall. Just run a bunch of things that have really strong damage to all enemies, and then just get a lot of mana very quickly, and then they all just die pretty much near instantly. And that's really all you have to do for the event. And if everyone in your guild gets to about tier 2, tier 3, should be enough to clear it out. I normally get tier 3 just for a little bit extra tokens. But should be a pretty straightforward event due to the fact that we have so much spell damage this time around, which definitely makes it a little bit easier. Anyways, as far as some other things that we got going on this week, Tuesday we got the Dark Pits faction. Wednesday we have ourselves the Golvania Bats for Golvania bonus. Thursday we have the Deathknight hero class, which is a pretty useless hero class. You use it primarily just to 4 times death mark the enemy, and there's other ways to do so. However, you can use an Elspeth on and immediately get those 4 times death marks. However, you don't really need the thing to be leveled at all, because you can do that as soon as it's fully traded, and you're killing it pretty much immediately anyways. So the amount of levelage on it does almost nothing. So a really weird hero class in that regard. You pretty much never use it, and if you truly want a death mark, you normally just use something like Dustbringer on hero. And even if you were using the hero class, you normally just kill it immediately with Elspeth anyways. So its stats don't really matter. And Friday we have a arena event, which is going to be kind of interesting because it's the first arena event we had since Uber Skulls, which of course are the skulls that basically one-shot anything in arena because it's 10 damage. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out, since I'm pretty sure most people haven't played arena since then. But it'll be interesting to see how that ends up affecting arena. Anyways, as far as Soulforge, rather ironically or coincidentally, Grey King is the main thing that you would craft, which is kind of weird because he's also the main thing in event key drop table. Basically, if you really want Grey King, try getting him through event keys this week, and if you fail getting him through event keys and you have 4,000 diamonds by the end of the week, maybe consider crafting him. Pretty good mythic. Overall, definitely one of the better true damage options. It and Weaver are mainly the main two that you generally consider if you're looking for a true damage mythic more often than not. So worth considering, though it is definitely higher priority to try for it off of event keys first and wait till the end of the week if you are considering getting him, as it would be much better value. As far as legends, they're pretty ignorable. Maybe Sir Quentin Hadley if you were to get something, just 50% Night Start pretty good, particularly with Guard's Avatar. Though generally, as legends normally are, not really worth going out of your way for, as you'll have every legend way before you have every mythic. So you generally want to avoid crafting legends unless you just desperately want something. And as far as weapons, main most noteworthy thing, of course, is Doomed Scythe. And definitely a much higher priority than getting a legend craft. But yeah, Doom Scythe, you probably see me using this quite a bit, particularly with Archmage's hero class. It's basically just a standard 6 really good Doom weapons, the best Doom weapons in the game, 1 per color. This is just the purple variant of it. Really strong, ends up getting, of course, all yellows converted into Doomstorm. It also, I believe, is the only one of the 6 that has a Skull Storm as a result of one of its effects once it's fully maxed. I forget exactly where it gets it, like 8th or 9th or somewhere around there. It's pretty deep in, but it does get to create a Bone Storm, which is pretty effective because you're creating a bunch of Doom Skulls, and then you have a follow-up of a Skull Storm afterwards. So the skulls can then align with whatever Doom Skulls you still have left on the board, and you basically just kill everything, and it's pretty nice. Does a lot of damage. Really great option to consider, and if you're to get any weapon this week, that is definitely the weapon you should be considering. And honestly, if you're getting anything in Soulforge this week, Doom Scythe is probably the thing you want to prioritize getting, as it is one of the 6 best Doom weapons in the entire game, as well as probably one of the top 10 weapons just in general in the entire game. So definitely worth getting before the end of the week if you have the resources to do so. Anyways, let's go over some teams. Before I do want to go specific. Well, it is technically going over a team, but I do want to go over specifically the Lyncothropy one. So, of course, we got a new achievement that came in about 2 weeks ago. However, it hasn't been doable until today. So, if you're looking to do this, basically, oh, this is a really bad starting board. We want greens, oh gosh, you took my greens. Oh no, but basically, we want to get green. The flaw in our plan, we actually need green mana. But basically, we want to go get some greens, and then we can get things rolling. And basically, we just keep casting Loyalty over and over and over again. We have Cleanse just in case he was going to Lycanthropy us like crazy. Just in case, because obviously we don't want our things being converted. And just kind of playing it safe in that regard. Unfortunately, really unlucky right now with these greens. And he's just going to deny it every single time we want to try attempting to take it. So a little unfortunate there. But basically, you just keep converting a bunch of purples over and over again, and you're pretty much just going to be good to go from there. And we could just directly target the Lycanthropy gems, end up getting a bunch of green and purple, and we basically just keep taking them over and over again until we have all of them. Really bad board so far overall. Haven't been able to get the mana going. You can do this on a higher difficulty as well. I just did it on a lower one just so we wouldn't be here forever, because of course you could use Beatrix to get the green to feed into them as well, which normally we'd be doing. Otherwise, we would accidentally kill the battle right now, so I don't want to do that. But as you can see, basically just once you get it going, you can kind of get this rolling a bit. We have Beatrix because when we take an extra turn, you see all the Lycanthropy now goes away and has a 1-turn delay. So on that initial turn, it's never going to get you. So you don't need to worry about it. And you're pretty much just good to go. You just keep doing this over and over again. If you get really lucky, you can get it done in a single battle. And you won't even need to worry about it. You could already see we've probably taken like, what, 20, 30? No way to really keep track since they've already done the achievement. But it's pretty quick, and you just keep doing that, and we'll just kill it out, since you kind of get the idea at this point. But you just keep doing that, maybe do it at a slightly higher difficulty so you don't auto-kill them, and you can actually cast Beatrix. And yeah, you can get done pretty much in a one single Explore 12 battle. And you get HP off of Loyalty, so you're not really going to die if you do it on a higher difficulty. But that's all you got to do. And it takes like 10 minutes or less. Anyways, as far as other things, other teams going on this week. World event. You can literally just spam Queen Titania. Queen Titania has Fairy Fire. Fairy Fire does 50% more spell damage. You have a bunch of additional spell damage off the metals. It just tears through everything, and you auto win. And we just kind of put a Dustbringer here for additional damage. You can just go Black Manacles or something similar if you don't have it. And Archmagus, obviously, for the high amount of purple. As far as our next one, you kind of already saw it earlier, but basically Titan up front so we could tank. And then you just put a bunch of AoEs behind. Do keep in mind, these are slightly higher rarity ones, but they are faction ones, so they're technically lower rarity in that sense, since they could basically always be event keyed in a sense. Not with event keys themselves, but with these shards for the specific faction. This one's from Alithia, and these two are from Silver Necropolis. So you can end up getting some pretty cheap AoEs that way, even though they're higher rarity. Because they're from a faction, they're a little bit easier to get. So basically, you just basically want to put every best AoE you have in your that's available for the game mode, and put them into a team. And whatever that happens to be is what you put into your team. Of course, we already showed the Lycanthropy one. Pretty quick to just get it done if you want to go and complete out the achievement for it. As far as the faction for Dark Pits, it is a green-brown restriction. For this, you can end up just doing Urskia Shield into Rowain and just run this the entire time if you want, or just run it for the earlier battles, or however you want to do it. But this team can go all the way to 500 if you so choose, and it's pretty cheap. Urskia Shield you get from 250 wins off of Urskia Hero Class, which is from the Sentinel Hero Class from Urskia. Rowain you get for free from completing a Forest of Thorns, and then you just need to find yourself 2 Leprechauns from a random drop table off of Glory, Gem, and Guild Keys, and you're pretty much good to go from there. As far as Pure Faction, a little bit of a weird Pure Faction. Your main win condition is cast Hexrat like crazy. You don't tend to really cast the tank. He's pretty much just here to have his 25% score reduction and regen. He's here entirely to tank. You pretty much never use his ability. And Plague Rat is here for the mana accumulation. Basically, the whole premise is you cast Plague Rat, you get a bunch of mana, you then don't cast that, and then just keep spamming your rats over and over again until you win. You might occasionally end up casting him if you really need the board control. However, he does block the brown off of Hex Rats, so you generally don't want to do that. And you're mainly just casting Hex Rats until you win. Basically, the whole main premise of running Pure Faction with that team. And as far as Deathknight Hero class, we have that on Thursday, of course. And as far as this, you can pretty much just run a bunch of mana links into either Dustspringer or Black Manacles. This one, of course, is showing the cheaper variant using Black Manacles. And you basically just get the Black Manacles up, keep casting it. Banshee ends up giving you a purple link, so you can get the mana a little bit quicker. And if you have a Number Wolf, you can end up getting Perpetual Purple Storm to help you a little bit more. Otherwise, you can just put another Banshee or something similar there in order to get even more purple into your Black Manacles. And you'd pretty much be good to go from there. But anyways, guys, that'll wrap it up for this video. If you still have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Of course, all the teams that we went over will be in the description if you want to go and copy paste it from them. Anyways, we'll be streaming every single night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the channel. Tonight, we'll, of course, be going over all of the Chapter 1 tasks. Actually, before we do end up ending this video out, we will be briefly going over it now, but we'll be more in-depth going over it tonight. However, of course, we did get the new campaign. I didn't actually go over all of the rewards. On the free side, I believe it's pretty much the same, where we have, I believe, 3 deed books, it looks like. Yep, so that's the exact same. And you mostly just get the stats in the 3 deed books. I do appreciate that they added the deed books to the free side. We should put some more Imperials in there, though. On the paid side, we have our normal bit of rewards. I believe 3 deed books as well. Raven's actually not that bad. Drains a bunch of mana from all enemies. And 2 more for each Lyncothropy gem on the board. And you can get quite a bit of Lyncothropy gems, as you can see, from that one battle we were doing. And then it also ends up creating a bunch of Lyncothropy gems. So it's a little bit of a pretty good mana drainer for only 12 mana cost. And the fact that Lyncothropy gems count as purple, which means you accumulate mana into it as well. When you're going to be matching all those purples, it can end up getting quite a bit of value. It has Purple Storm at the start and still has that Lyncothropy converting thing that was on the troop that we were just doing. It has potential to be a really good mana drainer. So definitely worth considering. As we end up accumulating it. And aside from that, nothing really that good. We do get the moon. I believe the sun and moon is going to have some kind of troop coming in. I believe we're getting a boss troop actually at the end of this season. So that'll be nice. We haven't actually had one since season 1. So it took basically 4 seasons until it happened again. We'll be having this mythic, which ends up converting and ends up having a Lyncothropy gem effect. So interesting to see exactly how that ends up panning out. It also has a little bit of a wolf summon there. Overall, it doesn't seem like it's going to be too good, but I don't know, it could have a little bit of potential because of the convert. And of course, we got the extended reward. So from here, we got a little bit extra gems. 2 epic Volkies. So yeah, I was wondering why they didn't have any epic Volkies the other time. But basically, this is like a 6 times buff to the amount of Volkies then, because every epic Volkey is basically like 3 Volkies. So this is basically like 6 Volkies instead of the normal 1. And it seems we just have a little bit more keys here. And the power orb. They really want people to buy that $25 pass, don't they? But yeah, they put a power orb here. That's pretty insane. So be interesting to see how that pans out. But anyways, I'll be going over more of the campaign stuff tonight, as we do every single night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But anyways, I'll be rolling over all this tasks later. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Best of luck with everything. Any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye, everyone. And thanks for watching.